Hello. Today we're going to use angle relationships, how angles are related to each other, with algebra to find a missing measure. When you have more than one angle, two angles together, we can talk about how they are related. We've talked about complementary before. See how we have two angles, angle 1 and angle 2. Together, all together, they have this 90-degree symbol if they are combined. That means all together they add up to 92. They total or sum up to 90 degrees. Okay? They're complementary. Complementary is a word you're going to need to know. When you see complementary, if you see the C, if you draw a line through it, so it becomes like a 90, so 90 degrees, okay? The way that we're going to set these up, we can say that this first angle, angle 1, plus our second angle, together are equal, to 90 degrees. Okay? So, 1 plus 2 equals 90. Let's try that with some numbers. Alright, so our first angle, and this is backwards, but we can see that both of them add up to 90. We can look and see this right angle mark here. So our first angle, doesn't matter which one we pick, I'm going to say it's this one. This whole thing, do you see how there's a little degree symbol here? Everything in front of this degree symbol is the angle measure. So angle 1 is going to go right here, and we have to add them together, right? So we have our first angle, which is going to go right here, and the whole thing, 7x minus 9, whole thing, plus, and then our second angle, which everything in front of the degree is 4x, so plus 4x's is equal to, and we know they are adding up to 90 degrees because they are complementary. We see this little box, which means 90, right? Okay, now we need to solve for this, and our steps for solving. Step 1, I check and see if I need to distribute. No parentheses, so I do not need to distribute. Okay. Step 2, I need to box them and sort them to their size. So I see that this one and this one have x's in them, and this one and this one. I put a box around each of my terms, each chunk of the equation, right? Then I'm going to sort them. If it has an x in it, it goes on the left side of the equal sign. If it has no x, only numbers, it goes on the right side of the equal sign. So let's take each one. This first chunk, 7x, has an x in it. So we want it to go on the side with the x's. It's going to go on this side. It's already on the left, so it stays on the left side. Cool beans. It stays where it's at. Okay. The next one we're looking at is a minus 9. It has no x, just a number, so it needs to go to the right. It's on the left, it needs to move to the right. If it's moving from one side to the other, you have to change the sign. So it goes from being a minus 9 to, when I move it to the right, it's going to be a plus 9 now. It has to go with the numbers, and since it goes from one side of the equals to the other, it moves, okay? It changes its sign. Next up, we've got a 4x. And those 4 x's are on the x side, they're on the left, so it's just going to stay on the left. And our last number was this 90. It's on the right where the numbers belong. It does not have an X, so it stays on the right. If you don't see a sign, you assume it's plus. So it connects it with a plus. Right? After all X's on one side, numbers with no X on the other. X's, no X. Now you combine terms. Group them. Okay? 7 and 4 are going to give you 11 X's altogether. Equals 9 and 90 altogether equals 99. Last step. Last step, whatever the number is in front of the variable, divide by that number. That cancels out the coefficient. Divide, cancels multiply, and you get x equals 9. Woo! Got what x is equals. You can fill this in. Now, I'm not done because it's also asking measure of angle CBD. Which one is that? Let's find CBD. Here's C. Sorry, my husband is also sick with COVID. B, D. You hear him sneezing in the background. So this angle, we want to know how much just this angle is. Right? To figure that out, we're going to take the 9 that we know, and we're going to put it in for this part of the equation. CBD, right now we know is 7x minus 9. 7x minus 9. But we also know that x is 9. So I take this number x and I'm going to put it in here. 7 times 9 minus 9. Okay? 7 times 9 is 63. And minus 9 gives you 54 degrees. So we had to solve to figure out what the x was in each of these, and then use that value to substitute in. Okay? I'm going to go a little bit faster on the solving on the next couple of equations, and you should be writing this down, okay? All right. So, supplementary linear pairs, right? Supplementary means they're adding up to 180. Or linear pair, remember linear means line and pair is 2. So 2 angles make a line. See how we have this straight line? And together, these angles make that line up. This angle and this angle create this line, right? Now supplementary is twice as much as complementary, right? It's like you've gone 180 degrees around the clock, okay? And the way I remember for supplemental is if I draw a line, just like I drew a line through the C here, if I draw a line through the S, you get an 8, right? 8 for 80 degrees, for 180 degrees, okay? Supplemental. The setup is going to be the same. We're taking 2 angles and adding them together. I have angle A, and I'm adding that to angle B, but this time they don't add up to 90 degrees, they make a bigger angle. They're adding up to 180 degrees. Okay, so let's give that setup on this one a try. First angle, and here's my second angle, and I can see that together they form a line. It's 180 degrees if they make a line all together, or if you see a straight line with something sticking out. That means that the 2 angles together are 180. Okay, so I'm going to take angle A, And this whole thing inside before the degree symbol, that's angle A. It all goes in. 8x minus 46. And then I'm going to add it to the value of angle B, which is 10x minus 8. 10x minus 8. This whole thing before the degree symbol. That's going to be equal to 180 degrees. Okay? But just like before, and I'm going to draw a line to separate my sides. Remember that this side is supposed to be the side where my variables go. X's can stay on this side, numbers have to go on this side. Right? And I'm going to box every chunk with the sign. 8x is a chunk, minus 46 is a chunk, 10x is a chunk, minus 8, and 180. Now we sort. Does it stay on the side it's on, or does it need to go to a different side? 8x is on the x side, it can stay. Minus 46 has no x in it. It has to go to the other side. So it's going to go this way. That means it goes to the number side and it changes from a minus to a plus 46. Let me draw my equal sign. Okay. This 10x has an x in it, so it can stay on the x side. So plus 10x stays with x's. And then the minus 8, right, this minus 8 is just a number, so it has to go to the number side. Minus 8 is moving, so it becomes plus 8 to move over there. Okay. And then the last one we have is this 180, and it's on the number side. It only has numbers in it, so it stays on the number side. Once we've sorted, we combine the terms together. 8 and 10 are 18 x's. 46, 8, and 180, give you a hint here, it is 234. Okay. Last step is always to find the number in front of the x, multiply what you're multiplying x by, and do the opposite, divide. Do the opposite, the inverse, to cancel out that coefficient number in front. That cancels out, and I have x is equal to 13. Now, before, it also asked us to do the measure of the angle. In this case, it did not, so we are done. We do not have to put it back in. Okay. I'm going to pause the video here and start a new video. This is the end of video 1. Go ahead and begin video 2.